Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Crow's Nest Podcast, episode 14.
You got it on the first try.
Yes, I did. So, for those who don't know, actually starting a podcast is harder than people think when you don't want to stumble on your words. So, this is Evok,
TDZ.
and we're up to answer your question.
Up to get paid.
Yes, especially get paid, I'll be honest.
Alright. Not so many questions, except for Clint asking his usual.
Yeah, it should be enough. Yeah, because Clint always asks a lot of questions that we can, work on.
Yeah. Plus, we got this nice open-ended question from Blues to start it, and it's the thoughts on the playoffs so far.
Yes, well, I guess it's both playoff, I don't know.
Might as well.
Might as well, yeah. So about SHL, I'm personally surprised to have seen the reigning champion, well, the old reigning champion already out of the playoff. Texas got kicked to the ground by Winnipeg.
I'm not totally surprised at that.
I'm not totally I'm
surprised it was a
expecting
sweep.
better. Yeah, I was still expecting better than that. Let's say Winnipeg had won in 7 games. It's fine. Texas actually tried, feel like they tried to fight on and etc. But they just got swiped.
I still thought it was going to end up being 5, maybe 6 games. Them playing their backup the first game because of the mistake. They did?
I didn't even know that. Oh.
I guess JP messed up his editing of lines. I don't know. There was a whole shtick of it in the SHL playoffs thread.
Oh, that explains.
But, the other 3 games, I'm pretty sure Pell was in, and they still got lit up, so yeah. I don't think it would have stopped anything. Winnipeg running their 50% players.
Did they actually got lit up that bad?
Let's check the schedule.
Wait, I'm not checking the right team. Which team it is? Yes.
Lost 6-2, 3-1, yes. 7-1, 5-7.
The only game they actually played fine was probably the last game.
Yeah, the only game they scored a lot, they still lost.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually hurt. Especially the 7-1 one. They got
outshot 42-28.
Oh god. That's something.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Texas taking it. Winnipeg's got a strong team.
That's true. So, but I'm I have always this mindset of expecting the champion to do good, which is not always the case, and this is a perfect example.
With SMJHL as well.
SMJHL as well, yeah. Colorado.
Vancouver is dead last.
Yeah, Colorado is actually having trouble. You guys are tied. That's impressive, actually. Who was in the regular season? I think who was the last seed? You guys or Montreal?
Montreal. We beat them out by 1 point.
Okay, so they actually they are leading on the third team pretty solidly.
Yep. If they win, your play-by-play later, so you know already, and
yes,
you'll let us know.
Well, you guys will know tonight, so I'm doing the play-by-play right after this podcast, recording that. So
yeah, so by the time you get to this part, it will already be started probably.
Yes, or probably finished. I don't know if I'm uploading this before the play-by-play or not.
Or that. Yeah, so, if Montreal does win, then they play y'all, guaranteed.
Yes.
And if we can pull it off against Prince George, then we play Detroit, which, fuck.
That's a good way to put it.
We just don't play them well. We don't match up well against them. I'm hoping like it'll change for this. We're getting some puck luck the last 2 games to tie this back up. So.
Yeah, that's true. You actually started on a hard.
Yeah, down 0-2.
Hard start.
Yeah. So I guess we can keep on with the SHL when we come back to the juniors.
Yeah.
Let's see. We talked about Winnipeg and Texas, Calgary and Seattle. I knew that was going to be the freaking ridiculous series. I figured this is going 7 games. And either it's a 50-50 chance for me. Though I'm sure a lot of people favor Seattle over us, and I got that biased view because it's my team.
Yeah.
But we played well.
I don't have a biased view in those playoffs.
Yeah.
We're playing golf.
We played well, so I'm happy with it so far. Our top lines, except for I think the last game, which I think they dominated us in the last game on the top line. But other than that, our top line's been killing it. So that's been good. It's just yeah, that first game was insane. They went up to a 5-0 lead.
I'm so glad. And then you scored like almost 6 in a row.
Yeah. What was it?
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. But I'm so glad I didn't get that play-by-play.
Yeah, I mean, I am, but at the same time, I'm not. It would have taken forever, but it would have been so fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But, like, I probably would have cried by, like, middle of the 3rd period.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, if they scored 5, then we scored 5. Then they got...
No, you scored 2, 1,
oh, no, okay,
5,
no, yeah, there's...
1.
Yeah, I see 2 at 1.
4, 1. And 2.
But with it being, what is that, 6-6? Yeah. And they score on the power play with 28 seconds left in the game.
Yeah,
to go in the lead. And then Joe scores fucking 12 seconds later.
Tied it off.
To tie it back up and send it back to overtime. Just like, no, fuck this. We're going to overtime.
That's actually a really crazy game. Especially just about, like you said, the fact that, like, Kilrad scored with 28 seconds or so to go. Like, just thinking about the reaction in the play-by-play thread. Like, people being like, oh no, it's over, Seattle won. It's like, no,
and then literally
surprise!
the next post would be a goal because it's 12 seconds.
Yeah, no one expect that. So
like, I read the little play-by-play at the bottom, like the really in-depth stuff, and it was like face-off 1 for Seattle, and they go around in their zone, and then Orlov goes to pass it, which is Clardy's player, and it gets picked off by Gagne, the assist person, who passes it to Joe, who snipes it. And that's like all that happened.
And then score.
Yeah, that was it.
I would have the fun out of it of posting like one play by one play leading to that. Like, Orlov wins it, pass in his zone to lose it, the time remaining, like all that kind of stuff. Like, just one by one by one.
See, I would like to have fun with it, but I'm so bad about the play-by-plays. Just, I have it all written. I'm just copy-paste, copy-paste, copy-paste. And I'm getting it out because I got better shit to do. And I just want the TPE. And I don't care about the money bonus as much.
Yeah, actually, this time I actually, made a plan for the play-by-play. Because I'm used to, start the play-by-play, write the first 5 minutes of the game, and then notice 45 minutes went by. And I'm like, fuck my life.
I get so in-depth for the first, 5 minutes, and it takes so much time. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta speed this up. So I start skipping, good chunks of time that nothing's happening in. I'm like, they're skating around in the neutral zone. I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like, well, I'm gonna go to the, good point now, and not this one win the face-off, pass to this guy. We don't care about that. We just want the goal, the penalties, a bit of suspense, but not more.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could make mine better with some GIFs or something, but I just don't care.
Yeah. You have to search for them, and
Yeah, I don't got time. the other two series, Buffalo and West Kendall, which I am actually surprised that Buffalo is tied with West Kendall.
Yeah. Actually, the series is closer. Like, one win, one lose, one win, one lose, I think. No. Yeah. It's lose, win, win, lose. So, it's actually really, like, and it's close in scoring. Like, the first game won by 1, second game by 2, and then by 1. But then the fourth game, West Kendall won by 3 goals. But, like,
yeah.
It never went over 3 so far. Every winning score is 3.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had West Kendall as pegged as one of the favorites. I think Minnesota, West Kendall, Seattle, Winnipeg are probably the 4 that most people assume to win. So the fact that Buffalo is tied with them and that Toronto is tied with Minnesota, I think it's not astounding. I knew they could do it. They both had really good teams, but it's not what anybody expected.
No, that's true.
And an upset would be pretty funny. Alrighty. Let's see here. And as far as juniors go, you kind of touched it. Montreal up 3-1. And then us and PGF at 2-2. Let's see here. My thought, Montreal's surprising, but at the same time, like, I think the standings. I gotta go find. I gotta get regular season up for that.
I'm pretty sure that everything except like Halifax was still closer than expected.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I think.
So it could go either way for all the games.
Standings. Yeah, so second place to sixth place was separated by 9 points.
Damn.
And third place to sixth place, Montreal and Colorado playing each other. That's 7-point difference. It's not 3 wins.
Yeah, it's not long.
3 wins and an extra loss for Colorado.
Yeah. So it's really close, actually. And I don't remember how Halifax finished in front of it, but we went on a losing streak at the end of the season as well.
You won the last 2.
Yeah, we went on the losing streak for 5 games, I think, or something. But we were playing our backup goalie that is not Tap.
Yeah.
And not 4-4. And when I actually pointed out that we're doing really bad right now, I'm not sure we want to go into playoff with that mindset. They switched around the goalies and they put 4-4 back in the net for the last 3.
Yeah, you finished 3-6-1. For the last 10, which the only team worse was Prince George.
Yeah, so that's why at one point I was like, maybe we should finish on a high note if possible, please.
Yeah, and Detroit and St. Louis went in red hot, which is what got Detroit that second seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see any team beating any team here, even any team playing y'all. If my test sims were any tell, y'all lost it more often than you won it.
No,
every team kind of won it a certain amount of times, so it was really like a straight up toss up every time, and who knows which sim JR is gonna get.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm still not paying too much attention to. You have to keep attention to test sim, but not too much. If what do I want to say? If you take an example with preseason, which is in a way a test sim, Halifax was actually really not good. We actually did really bad, if I remember correctly, in the preseason, and we went out like really fast in the season. So to an extent, I'm like, okay, maybe like you have to look at it, but not too much.
I agree, but differently. Not because of preseason, because
it's still a test sim that like at the moment everything was like up to date to an extent. So like it was the kind of situation like we're supposed to be good in the preseason for us. Like everything is set and we're not even doing well. What's happening? Because when we went in, like we all our stats were fine. We had no issue with any players and everything. So it's like.
And I'll point out the exact reason you didn't win, and it's probably the same reason that your GMs did this, is that you did not start 4-4 for the entire playoffs.
What?
You started Ben Holtby for the entire preseason.
Preseason, okay, yeah. Did we actually start him all preseason?
Yes, and that's why. And I noticed it during the preseason, and really? I figured that was something that your GMs did on purpose, because then you can't get any reliable stats out of trying to go up against y'all. And you knew your team was going to be stacked. Who cares about preseason for y'all?
Oh, I need to go check that, actually. Because I remember we started in a big chunk, but not all of it.
I mean, it might not have been all of it, but every time I checked, like, a game, I saw his name.
Yeah, we actually started him, like, only 20 games. But, like, that's still a big amount of this season, 20 games for a backup that is not needed to play.
Yeah, if you think 14 more games for 4-4 and he wins, like, 10 of them, that's like another 20 points and you're in first place, about how many points you had in regular season.
True. So, but even, like, what's the score I had? Well, I at the same time I'm complaining, but I did not do that bad personally.
Yeah, so. I think preseasons is a decent tell as long as people are playing, or not a good tell. Excuse me. I think the test sims work better now, but you have to be up to date on the sim file you're using.
Yeah, and you have to follow every line change and everything.
Yeah, which I'm not a GM, I can't see what other people do. So
I can see them, so I could actually test.
So I just test off of different things for us and see what's working for us. I don't care what other teams are doing. I'm just trying to test different line combos or strats or anything for us to see if, hey, this is working this time, this isn't. And it's like, oh, we got new rookie updates in, so I should get the new sim file, see how the rookies are doing this time, because not only are our rookies going to be updated, but every other team's rookies are going to be updated, so it changes everything. So test sims are fine for me. I mean, in that way, preseason isn't a good tell for me because the rookies are all like 170 or 180 or some crap like that. I think where was I going with this? I had somewhere with it. I lost it. Oh well.
But yeah, so it's still to take with a grain of salt in my opinion.
Oh, got it back. All right.
There you go.
Yeah. When I run test sims, I'll run 10, 20, 30 test sims. For playoffs, I'll run it this way. If I'm running like a regular season sim at the beginning of the season, I'll just make the schedule super long so I can just get a good average. Yeah. So I get a good average of how that works out over time. But once the schedule's made, I can't do that anymore because I don't pay for I don't pay for STHS because I don't have extra money lying around like that. So I have to input it every time, and it's kind of a hassle, so I'm not going to sit there and do that on top of it. But I'll sit there and input it, and like for playoffs, I ran like 20, 30 test sims for each line combo just to get a real good tell of what was going to happen. And you'd have one sim where we'd win it all, and then the next one where we get swept in the first round. And then a couple where we make it towards, a couple rounds later. And I think that's the biggest problem with it is you don't know which one of those sims you're going to get from JR Sim. Because this could be the one even if it's 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20, it could be that one that is really bad for you.
Yeah.
So it really is. It's not. It's a law of averages. On average, you're gonna win, but it doesn't mean every time you're gonna win.
Yeah, one bad bounce and that's it.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So let's go to next question.
Which
20 minutes on one question.
Yeah. With Ireland rumored to be getting Lombardi, which I don't think it's a rumor.
Yeah, at this point, it's not really a rumor.
How do you think they will do for this season's IIHF?
Not that good, but not that bad. We're losing Bojo, which hurts, but I think he's the only one we lost.
Yeah.
It does hurt our defenseman core. But I think we have enough defensemen coming up, or I don't know if I can check with the simmer also about updating some players like I did last season for those competitions. I don't think it's gonna be allowed because Wally was an exception. Because no one actually updated him. But it's gonna hurt this season, but as soon as next season, I think we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I mean, we're taking a big hit on D because we're losing an 1100 TPED or something like that, or whatever he was.
Yeah.
So we have to move up in his place an 843 TPE. Well, this is at last season. I don't know if they're still inactive and if that's still the TPE levels.
Probably. It's been 2 seasons.
Yeah, so an 800 TPE D moving in for 1100, so it's a little bit of a drop off, but we'll still have a good first D pairing, and the second D pairing is going to get a hit because now it's rather me or Declan Riley.
Yeah.
I don't even see him yet, which is also capped, so we'll just figure out which one works better paired with Hill. But, you're going from a 500 and 800 on the second pairing to a 500 and a 350.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be running heavily on the first pairing this season. We cannot split as much as we did last season, the time. So it's really gonna be up to fickling with time played and pairing. What will work better? How much time will work better? Should we put them on the first power play, the second? None at all, so they are less tired. So it's gonna be testing that kind of stuff.
So I think we'll be in contention to make the medal round again, but it's gonna be close.
Yep. We might be eliminated by someone winning over another team. One season it happened. Actually, I think it was USA not winning on Sweden that made us lose.
It's really going to depend on who gets put in which group.
That too. That's actually super important for us too.
Yeah, so if we get in a weaker group, then we'll have a chance at the medal round. I think last season helped a lot right then.
Yes.
Because the group as a whole had some big hitters like Norway and Finland, but it kind of dropped off.
We still avoided Canada, Russia,
and
Germany?
USA, Germany. They were all on the other side.
Yeah, so that was actually really, really, really helpful.
Yeah, so, and the year before that, we were in the group with all of them, I think except for Germany. But USA, Russia, I think Finland, and
Sweden, that kind of stuff.
So it really depends on the group staging. And then on top of that, it'll be a little rough this season. Next season is going to be where it really starts to get very nice.
Yeah, because most of our rookie will be on cap.
Yeah, every season from now, we're going to start getting more rookies uncapped.
Yeah.
And they're just going to getting better and better and better. And most of our good players are still, for the most part, fairly young. Well, some of them. Cervantes, Eurocaps player, being the one that's not. But by the time that regression hits him hard enough, we'll have other forwards that are up there. And Storm.
Well, I think some players are still not even in regression. Like, it's how many seasons? 10?
10.
Okay, so look at, like, one of our biggest core player right now, which is Coughlin Owens, is actually season 30. It's not even, like, 10 season in.
So we'll have Owen for a while. He's in his prime right now. Really, the only two we're losing that are going to start getting hit with regression is Wicks, Winger, and Eurocap.
He's probably not going to be around for long with Wicks players. I thought he would be gone for this season, next season. It was talking about recruiting already.
Yeah. So, even then, though, I think by next season you'll be higher than him in TPE anyways.
Yeah.
And as well as Storm. So it's no problem replacing him. In fact, our second line's going to get better next season than it already is.
Oh, that's actually going to start to be crazy. Like, our forward score will move really fast.
And I'm also not, if I'm not mistaken, Elliot, Bradford is Bradford's player. He signed with San Francisco and came back recently. So he might start updating again.
Oh, that's going to be interesting, actually. So, yeah, they are actually not too bad. Like, if I look, it's actually around, like, over 800s player that we're going to have on the first line. Or we could split them and put, like, the 500 on the first line and, like, make sure at least one good defenseman is on every line. So that's going to be a strategy that we're going to talk not on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later. But, again, this season will be rough, but by next season I'll be uncapped, and by the time that happens, I'll be closing in on probably 900 TPE. So, and with O'Reilly and regression, I actually might be the highest TPE defenseman by next season.
So, this season is going to be hard. Next season is going to be already way better.
Yeah, and then it's just going to get better and better.
Because, like, we still have a lot of recruitment going on. Like, we already have our transfer for the Assignet transfer for next season. I will have to confirm, actually, but, like, it's actually already in the talk for next season. So it's gonna keep going better and better. As long as I can steal talent from other country, that's gonna be way better.
That's the big thing. I mean, you stole me from USA, and they're hurting now.
Yeah, and I'm stealing Lombardi, and I'm gonna steal someone next season, and then I'll have to find another prey to steal. So it's gonna be fun. I love that, actually. I love recruiting, like trying to interest people in like my team and.
Hey, I'm still working on one too. I need to talk to him some more.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
That would be a huge help. Immediately. And this season too.
Yeah.
Alright. Which team do you not want to play in the next round, Evok? And I'm guessing that's SMJHL because New England isn't there.
Yeah. Any of them? Can I go straight to final? No, I think it was said in the last podcast that I was kind of scared of Colorado, and I actually that's not possible to face them in the next round, so I will go with Colorado. I was gonna say Detroit, but I cannot.
Yeah, I think you're gonna face rather Montreal. Well, You can't face Colorado at all anyways. It's got to be one of the other three.
Oh, really? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so even if Colorado won and then Prince George won, they're a lower seed than Colorado, so.
The second team I don't want to face is actually y'all. Just because I know one of us would finish with the heart broken earlier than I would like to.
I'm used to it, so.
Yeah, but at least if we can meet in final, that's gonna be exciting and really stressful. Not in quarterfinal.
Yeah, if Montreal wins, then we can win and we get Detroit, and y'all get Montreal, and then it could work out that way. But
yeah.
It's gonna be tough because then we have to go through Detroit. And Detroit's a really good team, so.
Yeah, I want just to face no one, straight to final.
Yeah.
Straight to the trophy, actually.
Yeah, just give us the trophy. That's fine.
No, give us a trophy.
Yeah, give us the trophy. That's what I said.
No! That's not how it works. Alright. Next up. Thought on season 38 in the SHL. I don't know. I'm hoping New England do better. I really wish we don't start this season and already have to do catch up, because that actually hurt us 2 seasons in a row. And except that I don't have any other opinions.
I'm not sure. Yeah, thinking about it, some teams are going to get stronger. But I don't really analyze a lot of the other teams' rosters, especially being a junior still. I've only really kept up with Calgary. So I can get my thoughts on that, which is...
That's pretty much what I did.
Yeah. Me coming up, Mook and Nike are still going to continue to get better with Kreller and Goody Jr. So we have 3 great D-men, and we still have 2 D-men that are over 1,000 or around 1,000. One of them's over. I think one's right under. So I think it's a nice transition for Calgary, where a lot of people were talking about our old players, and we have some young prospects coming right in. And as those old players hit deep in regression, those young prospects are going to just keep getting better and pass them. And it's just going to be a nice transition of never having to go through a rebuild. S has done some great drafting and got some great signings like Forsberg, and trading for Izzy. So we have some really good prospects that are just going to continuously getting better, and they're young. And we still have Joe, who's young. Randleman's old, but he's got so much TPE, even regression's not affecting him.
He still has leg.
Yeah. So I think we'll do good next season, but only as good as our goalies take us. We're really hurting on goalie.
That's true. But there's some maybe free agent coming up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'll see who goes to free agency. You know, I'm sure S will look into the draft as well. We got to draft one at some point. We got to groom something. But there hasn't been any good ones.
Is there actual that goalie in this draft?
I don't think so. So, again, it's just going to be hope that the Reddit draft brings some. And I'm thinking it probably will. But when's the last time, Bojo and J-Bay are the only 2, really super active goalies.
Yeah.
That have been in any class in the last, 4 classes.
That actually hurt when you think about it. That's probably gonna be my next player, but everything gonna depend of transition. I don't want to spend 4 seasons in junior, so which is kind of the curse of every goalie. But
especially right now.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
All right, so and then who, in your opinion, are the top prospects in the SHL draft? Blues, why am I scouting for you? Aren't you the scout? Shouldn't you be telling me this?
That's true, actually. Is he actually still the scout of the Pride?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure he did a pretty good job last season, so.
Yeah. But you know who the top prospects are, and if you don't know, go back to school.
Yeah, I mean,
it's obvious. Like, there's huge recruit rate, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. Crutch is definitely the top.
I didn't want to tell him. He had to find himself.
I think he could figure that one out.
Well, I mean, Crutch, Finn.
Well, Finn will be auto-drafted to Buffalo.
Oh, that's true, actually. So, Crutch.
Yeah, I mean, there's some other good ones, too. Cynthia's player there. And then we got some really good, D. Rogers there. So, who knows where he'll go.
There's actually but we have some really good rookie, too. So.
Yeah, you got Bobby and Thunder, and I think both of those could sneak into the top 5. But it just depends. Like our draft, when we came up, it depends who's going to value recreates over rookies, who wants the new blood. It's the same thing that Pris told us 1,000 times.
Yeah, right. So everything can go anyway.
Yeah. On to CrossFit. Waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Yeah, it's waffles.
Or pancake. Both. Why not both?
Crepes?
Crepes.
They're better.
Yeah, let's go.
Alright. What do you think of the idea that Formex posted in the general discussion forum? For people that haven't seen it, because it was today, and we're not all on here constantly. Formex, which I was pretty sure, I think everybody thought was sarcasm, posted his idea that we should, to fix the double shifting problem, to make it where every team has 10 skaters maximum, regardless of position, and 2 goalies. So we can all run 2 lines. And, I thought it was pretty obvious sarcasm. If it's not, then I'm sorry, Formex, because it's stupid.
Like, I see the point, but really no, because at one point maybe you will, like, have to, okay, like, you're at the end of the draft, there's no really one. Do you really want to have, like, 10 defensemen? No. Like, and you might end up being stuck with that because they are the only one active that you draft, and that's it. So yeah, it's like pretty much everything.
Yeah. Predictions for the SHL and SMJHL playoffs. Alright. I'm going to spare you the SMJHL playoffs predictions since you've seen the sims for Game 5s.
Yes. I'm actually seeing the Game 6 one right now as we speak. If anyone go in Game 6. Actually, you guys are going in Game 6 already.
Yeah, this will be posted probably after that.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. We've been real hot against PGF. I think it goes Game 7 probably, but I'm hoping we pull it out. Montreal, I think 3-1. I know it's the most dangerous lead. The memes would be freaking hilarious, but I don't see them losing 3 in a row. So I think Montreal takes that, which puts y'all against Montreal, which would be over in 6 tops, probably 5. And then us in Detroit, which, if I'm being honest, is probably not going in our favor. So y'all in Detroit. In which case, I think y'all win it in 7.
Hopefully. I actually want to win it 4. Finish it early.
What I want to happen is us to beat Detroit somehow and then come in and sweep y'all.
No.
Let's see. SHL. We got a sweep already happened with Winnipeg, and you got 3 best-of-3 series now because they're all tied. So,
anything goes.
Yeah, Seattle-Calgary series is going to come down to the goaltending. Seattle's goaltender was non-existent for a couple games and played great in others, so it really depends what he does. I'm going to say that we squeak it out because I'm being biased. Probably in 7. I think it goes 7 either way. I think Wes Kendall does squeak it out against Buffalo. Well, I don't know, actually. Buffalo's been playing great. I'm going to go ahead and call the upset. Buffalo beats Wes Kendall in 7. And then I think Minnesota beats Toronto. So you have Buffalo, Minnesota, and Calgary and Winnipeg. And it's hard to match up against Winnipeg, so I want to call us the winner, but I don't know if I can. And then Minnesota. Probably going to be Minnesota-Winnipeg finals.
And who wins it all?
Winnipeg, just so I can see the place melt down from the ice time discussion.
Yeah, true.
And then they ask, what do we think of Nikola Ruda and is she hot? And I have no idea who this is.
I have no idea who this is, so let's skip.
Yeah, I had to Google it. I think it's Drew Doughty's girlfriend.
Maybe wife.
I mean, she looks great looking next to him because he looks like a fucking caveman. She looks alright. I mean, she kind of has a, like, southern charm look to her, but I'm not into that living down here. I see it all the time. So, it's decent. I don't care. Alright, and up to Clint. I assume both of you got play-by-plays. From the first time around, what have you learned to do and not to do?
Well, to start, I already mentioned it. In a way, I learned to try to plan ahead now. To not spend 45 minutes on the first 5 minutes
Shorten that
of the game.
first period.
Yeah. And except than that, try to prep as much as you can before, and pray that the game gonna be nice on you.
Yeah. Really pray for one of those 1-0, like 20 shots to 15 shot games.
No penalties.
No penalties, nothing. Yeah, just it's nice and easy.
Yeah. 5 posts play-by-play, that's it.
Yeah. So, you can't blame me if that's the game I got.
That would be funny as hell. I would laugh my ass off.
But it won't be that way. I pray to God that I just don't get like a double, triple, or more overtime.
If I remember right, Camping Killer, who's back since today, actually got one of those.
Yeah, he did the triple overtime for Colorado and St. Louis.
And I think he didn't have the
He didn't pre-write, I don't think.
Pre-write, but I think his laptop went off, or he had to leave or something.
No, I think he started it while he was out to dinner or something like that.
Yeah, and he had to go back home and everything. So.
Yeah, so he was posting on his phone and then. So yeah, there's a lot that I've learned. Like you said, pre-writing. I've done that every time though, but I've gotten better at it each season.
Yeah, I still haven't pre-write something, but I did this time I planned it, so I know I'm not going to lose time trying to see what I want to write.
I spend about 2 hours pre-writing it, which...
God.
Well, I figure, because I'll look at people's posts that just wing it, and they'll take about 2 to 3 hours to do one. So if I take 2 hours to pre-write it, and I'll pump out the play-by-play in an hour, and it ends up about the same time, and I think it's much easier for me, because I'm not sitting there searching for stuff. I can pre-write at my own pace, and then when I'm ready, it's I had literally write it in Word, everything I want, and a copy paste, and then I'll put the spaces in how I want to do suspense, and I'll take a few minutes to post on purpose in some areas just to let people sit there and wonder for a minute, and then I'll be faster in other areas. So I have it all planned out in my head usually by the time that I'm starting it. But I'm very nitpicky about having it planned exactly how I want it and having it already written. which I'll be doing tonight and tomorrow.
Yay!
Yep.
So that's actually
go to class,
something...
eat lunch, go to class, write a bunch of play-by-play.
Yeah, that's actually something really, in a way, annoying about play-by-play, is that sometimes it's so late. Like, especially SHL playoff.
Getting it at 10 o'clock and then having an 18-hour time limit is a load of crap because I'm not doing anything those first 8 hours. I'm sleeping.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So it kind of sucks ass when I'm like, oh, there goes almost half my fucking time. And then I have school tomorrow, so there goes most of the rest of my time. And I have to rush it or I could potentially lose it. And I'm going to tell you straight up now, it ain't going to be probably at 18 hours. It's going to be pushing it.
Yeah, so, like, that's something I find really annoying because, like, you kind of have to have this limit. It's understandable why it's there, but it's also really painful for those who want to do it. Like, and sometimes you just have no choice doing it because, like, we're TP whore. Like,
I think the late game should have a 24-hour time limit, and the early game sims should have an 18-hour. And then everything's got to be done at night. Because getting it at 10 o'clock, you lose that time. If you get it in the morning and you have work or something, then it still sucks.
But the thing, though, is putting more time with the late sim prevent the other one to do a play-by-play, as long as, like, let's say you have game 4, I have game 5. You do it in 24 hours. Well, I still have to wait your 24 hours before I can do mine. Like, as long as you haven't done yours, I'm stuck. And then, like, if one is longer than the other, it's gonna create problems.
But see, it's gonna be me not doing it anyways until about 24 hours, because those first 8 hours, I can't do anything. Yeah. I'm sleeping.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know.
You know, those late night sims, when we get them late, I'm gonna stay up late tonight just to pre-write, even though I have class, like, literally all fucking day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I get out of class late tomorrow, and then my girlfriend has a class or two after me. So, 2 classes after me. So I'm going to take the laptop and finish pre-writing what I don't, and then I'm going to start the play-by-play sitting at school and hope I finish it before we leave. And if not, then I'm going to be like, pause, go home, and I'm going to try and finish it. Because then, like, we have plans tomorrow night, so I have to get it done in a weird time. And it's just weird. Shit happens last minute. I'm not blaming JY on that part. I just hate getting sims at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, I understand totally that point. Like,
I
this
love morning.
I love that GR is doing them early. When I'm gonna be in the SHL, that's actually gonna be something really painful for me. I'm actually not gonna stay up to watch those because fuck it, I have a life.
Yeah, pretty much. It's gonna be a morning sim for me. Unless I'm just up for some reason. But it's like he could have ran the Sims this morning, did the game 4s, uploaded it, and then immediately ran the game 5s.
Yeah, I think
and sent them out.
I think actually it's to give like GM the time to switch stuff if they want, because it's still playoff. Like, every game matter.
Yeah, I understand that.
So, like, I think that's why you actually have like that length of time between those, because actually GR was like, how many time do you need when you, like, between games? Because we do in the junior, we do them at 11 and 7 p.m. So that's the time set right now. So, like, I understand they have to change stuff and everything, but, like,
yeah, so I understand that factor of it. So again, I think it would come back to just giving the night simmers a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Or just being lenient with the 18 hours. You know, it's not like hitting 18 hours and be like, hey, where the fuck you at? Come on, hurry up. It's just like,
well, as long as someone is not pushing in my bag, I'm not gonna push in someone's bag.
JMA last season.
Yeah, kinda.
Even though I got given the sim like 2 hours before that.
Yeah, well, actually, that's why I put a warning this time. Like, do not fucking try to find someone else by yourself. I'm gonna do it, because if you try to find it by yourself, and I don't know if you already gave up the game or not, that's actually not fun. Because I spend, like, most of my day trying to, like, contact that person and know, did you pass the game already or not? Because I have people line up, like, I just need to know if you did or not.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to give it to someone and then, like, learn that, oh, he did, and that person was working on it, and, like, I just pass it to someone else, and now they were working on it, and, like, you know.
Yeah, then somebody's got to lose it.
Pretty much. So, like, I actually put the warning this time, like, don't do that, because that would have been fixed in, like, 2 hours if I had known. Now it took, like, 8 last time.
Yeah. The biggest deal, though.
Yeah.
As long as people are understanding. I mean, there's no rush for a damn play-by-play.
Should not. Like, I mean, it's not gonna change anything in your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like...
It's a fake
It's not like hitting
game.
18 hours and they're not doing it. If you know they're writing it or something and they're working on it, then give them the fucking time. If they haven't done anything on it at 18 hours, then yeah, take that shit away.
Yeah. But the play-by-play are actually... Like, no one really enjoyed doing them. No one actually enjoyed reading them. But we want them. So it's like, yeah.
It's because we don't have a way to sim it.
True. Yeah.
If we could have like a visual sim, like NSFL does, then I think it would change a lot.
But we don't.
Yeah, so this is the best we can do with this, and I understand. Alright, thoughts on Calkins?
He's a fucking dumbass. I'm so glad he's banned.
Yeah.
He can't go back in his cave.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have to say. He's a dumbass. He doesn't deserve more than that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he asked for everything he got. I had this conversation with the St. Louis locker room, like the day the ban happened too. I think me and Nora and a couple other people were talking about it, and like the biggest thing I take from this is I feel so bad for that kid if he does actually have one, because he's going to be raised in that culture, which apparently is a little bit more widespread over there than I figured it was, but who knows. To hate other, sexual preferences, maybe other races, I'm not sure. I didn't see him say anything like that. It looked like he was just attacking gays. But just being raised that way, I feel so bad for that kid, because he's going to be brainwashed from an early age to really believe this and probably be the same exact way.
Yeah.
All right. What NHL goal horn would you like to use for your SHL's team if you could? Anything except Montreal or Washington or Boston.
I'll be a bit lame, but I have no idea what the goals sound like. I don't really notice them because most of the time the games are actually in really low volume when I watch them. So anyone?
I like to blast that shit because I'll hear that ding off the crossbar and shit like that, or you hear that big hit.
Yeah. I understand that, but I'm usually doing something else at the same time, usually playing games or watching other videos, and, I want to hear that.
Nah. Penguins game comes on, that's all I'm doing. I'm focused. I'll get on Discord, in the intermissions and stuff. But yeah, Washington's horn, I cannot stand, because it's the loud, foghorn, goal horn sound, but then it has a siren going at the same time.
And it's Washington, I guess.
Well, it ain't even that. If any team had this, I would hate it. It's just the siren at the same time as the goal horn makes me want to shoot myself. And then I don't know if it's Boston or Montreal. Don't one of y'all use the siren? I think Boston uses it at the end of at the end of the period instead of a horn.
Okay.
But it gets on my nerves. I just hate the sirens, I guess.
Yeah, it would make sense.
I like that loud, obnoxious goal horn.
Not a siren.
Alright. Thoughts on the playoffs? We covered that pretty well. Are we going up next season? I know I am.
Probably. I mean, I thought so, but I don't know if my GM was joking this week, but he said, like, we never said that we were calling you up. So, probably, I don't know.
Demand that trade.
Like,
I really don't. I don't want to get tampered.
Like,
or get tampering. Just ignore me.
Like, I'll be honest and say that I wish I go up, because that would be the right time to, like, lead that team. I mean, I finished, like, scoring leaders, like, point leader. That's a good time to leave. Like, I'm finishing fourth in points in Halifax overall, first in players playing 150 games. All the four other in front of me have played 200s and more. So I think that would be a good time for me to just, like, leave, because I know I'm not going to be able to cap those performances last season and also that next season. And just overall that it's the right time to 3 season in junior and everything. Like, I don't want to sound I'm leaving because I'm not going to be good, but, like, it's good to leave on a high note.
Yeah, I wish I could do the same. So unless we win the cup, I'm not leaving on a high note. But I think it's the complete opposite for me. I haven't not done well in juniors. I mean, I haven't done bad by any means, but I'm always like 15th to 20th best D-man. And it just, you know, it gets tiring after a while when your player doesn't produce and you've tried. I've redistributed in different ways. I've done tests, and he'll light it up in every single test, and I'll switch to that. Does nothing. And, I mean, playoffs have been going all right for me so far. So I've been happy with that. Hopefully I can keep it up. I mean, I got more points in the playoffs.
Yeah, I get no points so far in the playoffs. That's actually lame.
Yeah, I wonder why. Like, I have 4 points in 4 games. I'm like a point per game, where I was like 0.4 in the regular season. So I'm like, oh, he's doing something. He just saves it off for playoffs, I guess.
Yeah, well, clutch performer, I guess. So.
Hopefully. Or I'm just going to go cold and we start losing. It'll more than likely be what happens. So,
no, don't say that.
And out of my player being, like, just not great, just decent, I'm ready to go up and be able to actually uncap and see what I can do with a lot more TPE.
Yeah.
And build this player how I want to build it instead of being limited. And I love St. Louis, but I think it's time for some of the rookies to take over, and it's their time to come up and be the next.
Time to shine.
Yeah, it's their time in the top limelight. I got co-captain this season with Ace, and that was great for me. So, time to pass that on. Let somebody else take that. Let somebody step up as a leader, other than me and Ace.
Yeah, that's going to be nice to see who's going to be especially for you, as you have a lot of rookie, like, you have a lot of potential player that can step up and everything. Active rookie, we have 2, I think. Allis is still around doing some stuff, but not as much as Colby. Hamilton is player name. And we have Ben Olby that is not even capped yet.
I think 6 out of our 7 rookies have been active, and 5 out of the 7 have been, like, really, really active and updating a lot.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be nice. I think it's another Calgary situation, funnily enough, where as a lot of us are leaving, because, I'm pretty sure me and Ace and Blues I know is going up. Nor's gone because we traded for him. So a lot of these players that are captain on the top lines are going to be moving on, and we have a lot of young rookies coming in to take over.
Yeah. So that's actually not our case at all. Like, a lot of players are going out, and not a lot can step in, nor can a lot come in. That's going to be interesting. I really don't know what will happen with Halifax next season at this point. Alright, so next question. Any hidden gem on your team that you can think can be a hero in the playoff? For my part, who could be a hero in the playoff? Let's see the Rooster. We have actually Rockefeller, Leaf. I don't remember his name, his full name, but it's actually a prospect we still have. But yes, he could actually. He could be someone that could produce this season. If I remember right, he was decent in the regular season. Another one that is not as present as the others is also Eric Pelletier, one of our playmaker center. But playmaker always have a hard time in that sense, I think. So it could be interesting to follow.
Yeah. Hidden gems. I mean, I don't know what you consider hidden, so...
Well, that's pretty much, all my players, we kind of shine all season long to an extent, so...
Yeah, I mean, our highest scorer, I think he was our highest scorer, was Cuddles in Trella, but nobody ever mentions him, so I would consider him a hidden gem, and
that's
again,
true,
he's leading us in playoffs so far. There's 3 of us tied with 4, actually. And then another one is Logan Jensen. He led us in playoff scoring last season too, and he's got 3 points already, playing our second line and stuff. So he comes up clutch in the playoffs, and we got our rookie Giuseppe down there with 3 points already, and see if he can come up clutch. 3 points. He's only playing 10 minutes a game.
That's good. That's actually really good.
Yeah, looking at the points per 20, and he's well on top. Dermott's up there, Anuj is up there, Elias is up there. All our rookies are scoring.
Yeah, all your rookie actually. Pretty impressive.
We have great depth on our rookies, and I love them.
That's gonna be really nice next season for you guys.
All right, Evok, how do you like seeing the Wolfpack in the playoffs?
No, don't go there. Don't go there.
All right, next question. Well, depending on how much time we have, we got a little bit more.
Yeah, worst injury you ever got?
Oh man, I could go on and on. So you can go first.
I don't remember. I don't have any major injury. Okay, yeah, I it's still an injury, and it will look mild, but that's actually the worst one I got because it's also related to my job. But I got a tendinitis in my finger. The finger for the mouse. So yeah, that was the worst I got. Because I could not work at all. It was hurting really bad.
I was one of those kids where it was just like, boys will be boys, cause...
Because you can.
Or I would be doing stupid shit. Last I counted, and it's been a while, with scars on my body. It was in the 20s, the high 20s. Because I've been cut and stabbed and sliced all kinds of times.
Oh my god, what the hell?
Yeah.
Stabbed?
Many different things. Yes. I actually had a pair of scissors go in my knee when I was about 10. Yeah, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact age. It was 10 or 11-ish, somewhere in there. I was crawling on the bed, didn't see him, and the blanket was folded up, and the blanket stopped it, and my knee didn't. So it went right in. So that was 5 stitches in my knee, and I barely missed one of my veins in there. So that actually was nice. 2 years later, what did I do first? Which one was it? I think I broke my arm first. First day of 7th grade. And playing basketball in PE, and I slipped and tried to catch myself. And all my weight on my right arm. and it snapped my wrist in 3 places. That was probably the worst for me because it was the most painful. For anybody that hasn't broken a bone, that is probably up there. Anybody that has, depending on what it is, because I've heard some hurt a lot worse than others, like your nose, and I'm so glad I haven't broken that. It's pretty bad. Especially when you're like holding your arm and it's just limp and floppy and you can't move it. And then I think it was a year later, I was playing on this hill and I fell down the hill and a stick went in my shin and I had to have 8 staples in my leg. And I still don't have any shin bone in that spot.
Dang.
Among many other
things.
yeah, injuries. So yeah, you can take a pick.
Scariest experience in your life. What would be mine? I live a really boring life. I don't know.
I don't know if I should tell more stupid stories or not.
Okay, I have it actually. It's also in a way a really stupid story, but it actually happened. But when I worked in a grocery store, like you have all kind of people that come in, right?
Yeah.
And there was a really intoxicated person that that wanted alcohol, and they got into an argument with one of the cashier, and actually broke the bottle on the like bell carrier, and like kind of like how to say like threatened us with it. That was probably the most scary moment of my life. Like, what the fuck is actually happening? Is this real? But other than that, like, but that went like that resolved actually pretty faster than like it actually happening. But that would be the most like what the fuck moment. My life is probably maybe actually in danger.
Life and danger. I don't know. Most of my injuries have never been like.
Well, it's also scariest moment, so like I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, when your life is in danger, I don't think it could be much scarier.
Yeah.
So, I haven't really had anywhere like I was just. I would say life or death. Everything's been, oh, you just fucked up your arm pretty good, or you fucked up your shin pretty good, and shit like that. So, scariest for me, oh man, this is hard. Anything to deal with the cops is pretty scary. And I've had a couple run-ins. Nothing like arrested, but you know, even getting a ticket when you see the lights flip behind you, your heart drops. But I don't think that would be it. Oh man, I don't know. I don't think I can answer this one because it's nothing like. You know, each one of the injuries as it happens is scary, but I just nothing just stands out as like super scary.
Yeah, like even I like it's like to an extent it's scary, but it didn't mark me more than that. Like I remember because I will probably already remember that, but it's like it lasted like probably a minute max, like, and that was over. So it's like, oh, okay. Okay, let's move on then. Worst injury you've ever witnessed in a professional sport? For me, it would be Pacioretty incident, the Chara it. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say there's a couple in NFL. Tyrone Prothro, which is a college football player for Alabama. And if you watch the video for it, he comes down on his leg and it snaps clean.
Oh.
And I was watching that game live, and oof. And then scariest one I've witnessed would be Kevin Everett for the Bills. And he got a life-threatening back injury or neck injury or something,
really?
spine injury. And he just now started walking not long ago, I don't think, like where he could actually start walking again more easily. Like he was paralyzed from his injury.
Yeah, well, another, like, I didn't witness it, but that's one that's probably gonna mark me all my life, is also, like you said, there was the NWHL, CWHL game, outdoor game, a few years back, couple years back, I think, and one of the players actually ended up paralyzed. Like, I wanted to watch that game but I could not find any stream. But, like, that was the outcome of the game. It's like, wow.
There's also, what was it? Kevin Ware for Louisville basketball. And this was in 2013 when I lived in Louisville watching this game. And he comes down during the Final Four. And after, like, a jump shot or getting a pass or something, I can't remember exactly. But I know he jumped up to do something, and as he landed, his leg snaps. And it's
legs are so easy to snap.
Yeah, it is excruciating to watch.
I hate that. I hate any kind of injury. Like, to watch them happen, it disgusts me to an extent. Like, it's so disgusting.
Yeah. Choose one word to describe your player.
Wow. I'm gonna choose that one.
Scrub.
Oh. No, you're a defenseman. It's not the same thing. Like,
it's scrub. He does nothing.
It's not the same thing.
He's a fucking pylon. I have Brooks Orpik for a defenseman.
You're gonna be better in the SHL.
And then how do you like daylight saving?
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's like, I understand the point, but it's like not amazing.
I somewhat understand the point. To like save power apparently, but I don't see how that really helps in the winter.
Well, now no, but it was there before, so that was helping before, but now it's just like nah.
Yeah, they keep it around because it's supposed to save power, but I'm like, how does it save power? I guess it's supposed to save power in the summer, but I'm like, because you're not running your lights during the day.
Oh yeah.
Because it doesn't get dark till like 7 something, but I'm like, I walked outside at 5:15 and fucking dark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, if I wanted more daylight, I'd want it in the winter.
Yeah.
When it's cold.
And another thing is also, it's actually really bad for your health. Especially when we, I think it's in spring that we move forward.
Yeah, the spring forward.
It's actually really bad for the health.
Yeah, like, one of the main causes of heart attacks.
Yeah. So, like, I would just remove it if that was me.
Yep. So, I think that's it.
Yep, no new question came in during that. Thankfully, because I don't have any time left, because fucking play-by-play.
Yep, so we'll call it there so you can have fun with that. And I'm going to go get me some dinner and get ready to do mine tonight.
Yep. So, thank you everybody. Once again, thanks for asking questions and listening to us. Feel free to ask more questions. And we'll see you next week. The one after, I don't know. We'll see.
One of those. We'll see how school is next week.
Yes.
because it's getting busy. So, thanks again, guys. Y'all take it easy.
And we'll see you next week.
Ish.